All right, so, really good team win, unusual with the delay. So I was really proud of, we had a long time to sit in there of, to really talk to our players about finishing people off and, because these guys had rallied and had made a close game. So I was very pleased that we finished on offense and defense. We stopped them there, got the pick to shut down the series, and then, didn't give them the ball back again by making the 2 first downs to end the game. So, we talked about that during the delay, that very likely could happen. We obviously got to stop them on defense, and we'll probably need, eventually 2 first downs to end the game. So that was good. We've not been great at that, really, our 2.5 years here. So that was really good to see. And, obviously kind of the story of the game is we didn't stop the run, and we ran the ball extremely well. So to have 3 rushers over 100 yards, there's a lot of people doing things right. Like I told the guys, we have cool stories during the delay, walking off, and Mingo, who doesn't have a catch in the game after a record-setting day, is like talking about how well he's doing on the crack blocks and how many rushing yards we have. And so that's really cool when you have unselfish people like that.
Questions? Lane, now, just based on kind of eye test, what was kind of your level of concern about defense coming out of this one? Auburn scoring 34, I believe that's 14 more than their average.
Yeah, obviously that was not up to our standards, no matter who's in there. Unfortunately, our best player tried to go. Arguably our best player from an impact standpoint in Cedric, and wasn't able to play at all. Not making any excuses, but so guys got to step up like we tell them. This is the middle of the season. You're going to have injuries, and obviously we did not tackle well again this week, and a ton of explosive runs. So, I guess like I said, they announced, we got lightning within 8 miles of here. And I said, well, we ain't got any run defense within 8 miles of here, so. I was like, maybe we'll have 30 minutes to go figure it out.
Could you kind of take us through the decision to go for the onside kick in the 3rd quarter? What did you see, and then how big of a play did that end up being, because you guys capitalized on it and scored?
Yeah, huge play for the players to make the play. Something on film, and Coach Biaggi had done a great job finding it, and we'd practiced it all week. And, just had said if we were struggling in the game, and it was going back and forth, even though that wasn't maybe what people anticipated in the game, high scoring type of game, that, let's do it. And I think we'd just run an 11-play drive. And so the thing about that, when you get it, now they're back on the field again. And so I think they ended up playing 20 straight snaps of defense. So I'm really glad the players made it, and obviously impact the game a lot. But again, they don't work all the time if the players don't make the plays.
You outgained Auburn 225-23 in that first quarter. Just what did you see differently defensively in that first quarter, and how did it kind of unravel the rest of the way?
It was really 2 things. It was really 3rd down plays, where their quarterback would either scramble and make a play or make a big throw to keep drives alive. I think we had a 3rd and 15 and then a 3rd and 9 on the same drive. And then the inability to make tackles in the run game. Kind of felt like during the game, like ours was harder. Like we had to work our way down the field a lot more, and their runs were breaking, and we'd have a guy there and he'd miss the tackle. So, that's a major issue. It's not the first time it showed up. So, again, we have issues on our team. They change every week, and we're 7-0, which is great, but we've got to fix these things, because I keep saying it's going to get harder.
I know you've coached in shootouts before, but can you recall ever coaching in a game with 748 rushing yards or whatever this was?
I'm sure we've had them here. Our first year, it felt like every game was like that. So I did have that feeling again, kind of like the South Carolina one here. But I just kept saying, hey, we got to score and keep the lead. And keep playing until we make a play on defense, which we did.
Dayton Wade had a really nice day running the ball and receiving you guys' first touchdown. What did you kind of see from him leading into this game that kind of made you comfortable?
I mean, he's been hurt some, and so he's always made plays in practice, and the few times he's gotten in there, even though when the balls have gone to him, he's done a great job, does a good job as a returner. So, we always say we're a lot better when we can rotate guys in and, not wear our receivers out. And so he stepped up, much like Jordan Watkins has earlier in the year, and made plays. So Jalen Robinson was out again, and so guys stepped up.
Obviously, Dart as a run threat was heavy in the game plan today. Just what have you seen in the confidence-wise of him being able to kind of take that part of his game and elevate it?
Yeah, really good job by him, and he actually wasn't 100% coming into the game, so he really toughed through some things and, ran really well. And again, tight ends and receivers, perimeter blocked really well, in a lot of those crack and different types of schemes that got the ball on the perimeter, because I just felt those guys have always played well in between the tackles, and we need to get the ball on the edge and get around them.
Kind of going off next question, when was the last time you were part of an offense that had 3 100-yard rushers? Can you recall?
I don't remember that. I know we have, but I'm not really sure when that was. But that's an accumulation of guys doing a lot of guys doing things right. Obviously, offensive line, but the tight ends and receivers and how they blocked, and running backs how they finished the runs too. You didn't see guys running out of bounds, getting extra yards. And I think Georgia Tech, we're up near 69 carries, so that doesn't happen very often, especially in an SEC game. So you got to do whatever it takes to get to 1-0, and that was running the ball today.
I know a lot of people connect your name with the passing game and all of that kind of thing, yet your teams have always been able to run the ball. Is that on a day like today when maybe the pass wasn't as available, being able to run like that, is that something that you're really proud of in terms of your reputation and that kind of thing?
I mean, I don't care about the reputation. I just like it better as a feeling, and so we've had this conversation often. I don't know why it's always that way about where, I'm associated with throwing the ball, but, that was awesome to see today. And, the other way is fun, but, this is more demoralizing, to a team when you're able to, continue to run the ball like that. And you saw a lot of guys go down for them, and, we're able to wear them down. And right before the lightning delay, Q's run, finally broke. So it was good.
Were you going for a handstand after the onside kick, or was that just kind of spontaneous, what you did there with the celebration?
I don't know. I was trying not to be up there and pay attention, because I always think the other coach is going to look and if he's talking to special teams, maybe they're doing something. So I was actually pretending I was talking to the defense down there about the next series. I probably overthink things. So I kind of didn't. I actually watched the screen, so I wasn't watching the kick.
You talked about kind of how, how nice it is and demoralizing when these three guys are able to run like that. I mean, we see what Quinshawn's been able to do. We see what Zach's been able to do. One time we were talking to Jackson when he talked about running, and he said, I'm a football player first and then a quarterback, and then those three guys were just under 400 yards. How can you kind of assess those three guys' toughness in this offense, and what does that kind of combination and culmination mean to it?
Yeah, I think you have a combination of really tough kids. And like you said, Jackson, even though he's a quarterback, he has that mentality. I think that comes from his parents. His mom runs marathons, and his dad was a safety. So that's a pretty good combination to be physical and run the ball. So it was just great to see. And Zach had a great second half last week, which he'd be the first to tell you wasn't a great first half a week ago about being physical, running the ball. And so challenged him to come out today and play like he did in the second half, and he did. And it was huge. All right, guys, thanks.